Hey guys, Tony Rush here, and it is not brutally hot today as it often is here in southern Alabama, so I thought I would shoot you guys a quick video. I told a story on stage in San Diego, and it occurred to me I don't think I've ever actually shared this story except that day. So I want to share this with you real quick because Jessica and I have made a ton of money working from home, but I think a lot of times there's this idea, this impression that people that make a lot of money never have challenges, or they've never struggled, or once you start making money, oh, it's just sunshine and roses and red rivers of candy licorice and sugar top mountains all the time. And anyway, one of the things that I'm committed to in my business is that I want to be totally authentic with people, and I never want to give anybody the wrong impression that, hey, if you get started in some business, your life is suddenly going to be just perfect. And here's what I'm talking about. So I'm recording this in October of 2012, and a year ago I was almost broke, which may come as a surprise. If you've been on my list for any length of time, you might remember that last year I sort of went silent for a few months. I was working in a top tier company, home business, and I was burned out. I'd been doing this for years. I had made a lot of money, but I reached the point where, you know what, I just couldn't do it. This whole thing of calling prospects every day and leaving 90 voicemail messages and talking to 10 people and, you know, just the whole grind, chasing people, trying to spoon feed people, trying to convince people to play big in life. It just got to be such a grind. And if you've ever been in any kind of a home business, you probably know a little bit about what I'm talking about. Just all the frustrations that go along with the traditional type of home business, where you spend all your time basically grinding. You know, you're having to show up and do all this prospecting, or worse, at least I had gotten out of doing one-on-ones and home parties and drawing circles on the back of napkins, and some of you guys may still be doing that stuff. But anyway, long story short, July of 2011, I just got to the point where I just couldn't do it anymore. I was toast. And for most of about 3.5 months, I just couldn't do much of anything. I didn't want to market. I didn't want to do anything to make money. And needless to say, we have a pretty nice lifestyle. So financially, it was a pretty stupid mistake. It was a pretty stupid thing to do, but I felt immobilized. I felt like I just could not go back one more time and do this grind again. And so, anyway, September of 2011, I actually had run through a ton of money because our lifestyle didn't change, but I had pretty much just decided I wasn't going to work anymore. And so September of 2011, I reached the point where I decided, you know, I have got to do something to make money. But I cannot, I mean, it's almost making me nauseous to have to get on the phone and call prospects and try to book people to presentations and calling them back and doing three-way calls. I've got to figure out some way where I can make a huge income without having to prostitute myself to the god of prospecting, right? And so, gosh, who knows why things happen the way they do sometimes, but in November of 2011, I heard that David Wood was starting a company. Now, let me tell you about David Wood real quickly. I only knew David Wood by name. But a couple of years ago, I was leaving a company about the same time David Wood was getting started, and I saw him put in over 200 people into that business without making a single phone call. And that business, I think, was like $495 to join. And so I was absolutely amazed. But I was on my way out, and I was doing something else. And so November of 2011, when I heard that David Wood was putting together a training program called Empower Network, I thought, you know what? That's what I need. I need to find out what I don't know about how to market properly in 2011 and onward. Because this calling people on the phone's got to go. I can't do it. I'm getting burned out. Even though I was good at it, even though I was making a ton of money, even though I was a top earner in several companies, I just couldn't do it anymore. So here's what happened. So I got started in Empower Network, and I didn't come here for the money. I actually came here because my plan was, I'm going to take what I learned at the Empower Network, and I'm going to go over here and work my other home business using these methods, which was a pretty good idea. And we have a lot of people that do that. We actually have a lot of people that join Empower Network because that's their plan. But here was the other part of my scheme was I will promote Empower Network as a way of generating leads for this other thing that I'm doing. And it's possible that some of these people may actually buy some Empower Network products. And if they do, then that'll pretty much pay for my advertising. And then I can take these people and put them in my other thing, right? Wrong. Okay, that's not how it worked for me, but for a good reason. I never got around to offering those leads my other thing. I started from scratch with Empower Network. I didn't have an existing list. I didn't want to confuse my existing list with this other offer. So I actually got started from scratch with 0 people on my list. And a funny thing happened. So that was November the 10th when I got started. By December the 15th, I remember Jessica and I, my wife's name's Jessica, we were looking at the bank account because we were getting ready to buy some Christmas stuff. And she was like, what are all these deposits that are coming in? Like $200 a day, $175 a day, $325, $225, $75, $175, $425. You like looked at it and it was like, here every day all this money's coming in. A few $100, on average of a couple $100 a day. And I said, well, that's that thing. That's the Empower Network thing. And she's like, you gotta be kidding me. We're making $200 a day and you're not having to beat the phone. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm kind of slow. If you hadn't noticed, I can be kind of slow. So anyway, we paid for Christmas with all Empower Network money. Brand new money that didn't exist 30 days before. And then in January, my mom passed away. She had been sick for about a year, I guess. And my mom had passed away, and so I didn't do anything in January as far as work. I take that back. Here's what I would do. We had to go to North Carolina, for the funeral, closing up the apartment, getting the car taken care of. Basically, all the stuff that goes along with, taking care of business after a death. And so all I would do in January was whatever David Wood would send out, I would basically just copy his email and send it to my list. I would change his link to my link and just send it back out to my list. I literally would work about 30 minutes a week in January. And so February I don't know, probably mid-February or so, I was kind of itching to get back in the game, and the dust had kind of settled a little bit from Mom's passing, and I was sort of, kind of over the initial upset of that. And so February I was kind of thinking, it's time to get back in the game, and I felt like I needed to make a decision because I hadn't done anything in my other business either. And so I go look at the bank account, and we're making like $500 a day on autopilot. We're not doing anything. Like, we did almost no work at all in January, except we just ran some ads. We just left them running, and I would go and work about 30 minutes a week. And all of a sudden, we're averaging about $500 a day. That's about $15,000 a month. And I started from scratch. I started, with no list. And I was like, why in the world would I go back to beating the phone? Why would I go back to selling, the $2,000 home study courses, and beating the phone and trying to call people back and doing 3-ways and all this other BS that I'm burned out on anyway. So I was like, good Lord, I made, like $500 a day here, and it's February 15th or whatever it was. And I thought, if I were to actually buckle down and pay attention to this thing, I actually could turn this into a multiple 6-figure income. And David Wood did a webinar. Actually, you can still go see this webinar. It's online. He actually still does it. The webinar is called How to Make $1,000 a Day in Empower Network. And if you'd like to go watch that video, if you'd like to attend the next webinar, shoot me a reply to this email or whatever how you see this video. Just get in touch with me, and I'll send you over a link where you can register for the next webinar. How to make $1,000 a day. And I remember telling Jessica, you know what? Whatever he's about to say in this webinar, I'm just going to go do that. I'm going to forget what I think I know about making money from home, because this guy obviously knows how to do it without having to pick up the phone. So I went to that webinar, how to make $1,000 a day in Empower Network. And the next month, I made $34,000, March of 2012. And I was pinching myself. Because $34,000 is unbelievable amount of income. But here's the thing. I was only working about 90 minutes a day. And actually, to this day, I still have never picked up the phone. I've never called a prospect the whole time I've been with Empower Network. So I followed that formula that David Wood laid out in February. And yeah, did $34,000 in March. We did $45,000 in April. I can't remember what we did in June. July, I think, was $51,000. August was $61,000. September was down a little bit. September, we took off about a week and a half and did a vacation. I wasn't doing much of anything for about a week, about a little, maybe 10 days of the month, and we did $55,000, I think, in September. And the funny thing is, at the time I'm recording this, we're actually on track to do about $75,000. We've done, it's 10 days in the month right now as I'm recording this in October, and we've already made $23,000 or something like that. We've already done $3,000 today. So here's the reason I'm telling you all this. Because a lot of times people say, well, why would Tony Rush join Empower Network? I thought he was making a bunch of money in this other thing. And I was. I just wasn't having any fun. You know? And this is actually what I want to talk to you about. And I won't keep it but just another minute, but I think that this is probably some of the best advice I could possibly give you. Nobody's going to do something that they hate for very long, even if they're making money. And when you go from broke and struggling to making money but working all the time, it's a big improvement of life. You're like, golly, I've got money. You know, never mind that I'm beating the phone 8 hours a day. Never mind that I'm leaving voicemails and I'm talking to people that, you know, aren't serious about their lives or whatever. Never mind all that. The bottom line is at least I've got money coming in. But when you kind of get it, I think it was Gary Vaynerchuk who's the first person I ever heard say this. He said, when you are consistently 1% unhappy with what you're doing, it's time to figure out how to upgrade. It's time to figure out how to make some changes in your life. And, you know, I'm probably not telling you anything you don't already know. If you're in the home business and you're watching this, you know, it's easy to focus on the positive and just kind of ignore the fact that there's this grind that you don't enjoy doing. Some of you are doing these little sample parties in people's living rooms where you're handing out samples and everybody's, you know, drinking a little something. And, you know, don't tell me you enjoy it, because you'll enjoy it while you're doing it. But the truth is it becomes a have-to after a while. You know, if you're beating the phone, cold calling leads, or calling, you know, people that have filled out a form and left their phone number, you know what it's like. You know, you're calling people that aren't serious. They're not serious like you are. A lot of them are aliens, I think. My neighbors are putting in a pool. You can probably hear the workmen over there. You know, you call people back after a presentation and they won't answer the phone. It's a grind. But Empower Network is basically top-tier money. It's the ability to make thousands and thousands of dollars a week. And you don't have to grind. I literally have not made a phone call since I've been here. I haven't made a phone call now in over a year. It's awesome. It's truly a marriage between the automation of internet marketing, the leverage of network marketing, and the income potential of top tier, where we literally have tons of people that make $1,000 a day, a couple $1,000 a day. We've got lots of people that do this. It's amazing. Matter of fact, I think I don't even know. I think we've paid out now $12-15 million, something like that. Just absolutely remarkable, the potential, what people are getting out of being here. So let me just kind of put a bow on it with this. If you are serious about getting your time back, getting rid of all the hassles that are normally associated with making money from home, I encourage you to get into the Empower Network. It's $25. Okay, we're not asking you to get married. We're not asking you to buy a house. It's $25. That's affordable for anybody, no matter what they're doing. Single mom on welfare can afford $25. Get into the Empower Network. Find out what we're about. Find out how easy it is to market anything by using our basic little $25 product. Check out the Inner Circle. You know, check out some of the training that we provide, where you actually get to look over the shoulders of people that are making anywhere from $50,000 a month to $250,000 a month. And take this, try it out, see if it does not change your perspective on what it takes to be wealthy working from home. And I think you'll be glad you did. So thanks for watching this. I appreciate it. I'm going to hang out outside here and watch the kids play in the yard. But you can go over to joinTonyRush.com and get started right away. That's joinTonyRush.com. If you'd like to watch the presentation again, go to the EmpowerNetworkPresentation.com. Once again, that's the EmpowerNetworkPresentation.com. And yeah, and if you're serious about making thousands of dollars a week, then I'll be happy to work with you personally. I've got a ton of private special bonuses and training that I provide, no additional charge, that comes with getting started in Empower Network on my team. So I look forward to working with you. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I enjoyed making it. And we'll talk to you guys later. Have a great day. You absolutely deserve it.